There are different levels of fame, and only a few names ever exist at the very top. Before Michael Jackson was the most famous solo artist in the world, before the glove, the moonwalk, and the Super Bowl halftime show, there was a young boy from Gary, Indiana, who changed what a child performer could be as part of the Jackson 5. And that era matters because it proves that his greatness didn't arrive suddenly. It was already there. That chapter explains where Michael started, not where he ended up. What followed wasn't just a successful transition out of a group. It was the rare moment when an artist completely reintroduced himself to the world and never gave it back. Because the story we're telling today isn't about a prodigy becoming famous, it's about a prodigy becoming something else entirely. It's the story of what happened when that young boy stepped out on his own and quietly redefined pop music forever. Welcome to episode 12 of For Beginners, where today we're going to be talking about the solo legacy of Michael Jackson. The Beginners. Michael Jackson is one of the rare artists whose name alone defines an entire era of music. Born on August 29, 1958 in Gary, Indiana, Michael Jackson grew up in a large working-class family led by his parents, Joseph and Catherine Jackson. Music wasn't just encouraged in the household, it was structured, rehearsed, and taken seriously. From a very young age, it was clear that Michael had an extraordinary ear for melody, rhythm, and performance. Michael was the 8th of 10 children, growing up in a household where music was shared, rehearsed, and performed alongside his brothers and sisters. From a remarkably young age, Michael Jackson's life was built around performance. Television appearances, studio sessions, and a professional routine that demanded precision and consistency. Those experiences shaped his voice, his discipline, and the way he learned to communicate emotion through music. Now, the Jackson 5 is a huge part of Michael's story, and it is a story that absolutely deserves its own episode. That era embellished his understanding of what it meant to perform at the highest level at a very young age. So for this episode, our focus is going to be on Michael Jackson's solo career and what made it different. This isn't a critique, it's a base level look at Michael Jackson's career as a musician and where it all fits together. This channel also isn't focused on his personal drama or controversy, even though Michael Jackson's career, like many at his level, wasn't without it. Because he succeeded long before the modern music industry took its current shape. Michael Jackson matters because he fundamentally changed the scale of pop music. In the late 1970s, pop music was still largely siloed. Radio formats were divided, television exposure was limited, and artists were often confined to specific genres, audiences, and regions. There was no unified global pop culture yet. Success usually meant being big in one lane, not everywhere at once. Post the Jackson 5 era, Michael Jackson entered that landscape and quietly broke it open. His music, his image, his performances were designed to reach everyone at the same time, regardless of age, language, or culture. He also treated pop music like a complete art form. The songs mattered, but so did the visuals, the choreography, the storytelling, and the precision behind every release. Albums weren't just collections of tracks, they were events. Michael pushed the music industry forward by demanding higher standards, from recording quality to production to how music was presented on television. In doing so, he helped turn music videos into a central part of pop culture, not just promotion. And maybe most importantly, Michael Jackson proved that pop music doesn't have to be disposable. It could be ambitious, meticulously crafted, and still connect with millions of people around the world at once. Michael Jackson's solo career didn't begin at the height of his powers, it began quietly. In 1972, he released his first album, Got to Be There, while he was still very young. Those early records hinted at what he could become, but they hadn't fully captured the artist he was trying to grow into yet. That began to change as Michael started surrounding himself with collaborators who understood his ambition and his precision. One of, if not the most important, was Quincy Jones, whose approach to arrangement, groove, and studio discipline helped Michael translate big ideas into focused, powerful records. Around the same time, artists like Stevie Wonder were expanding what pop and soul music could sound like, blending technical sophistication with emotional immediacy. That creative environment mattered. It showed Michael that pop music could be detailed, expressive, and still reach massive attention. The turning point is 1979's Off the Wall, the moment where Michael fully steps into his voice as a solo artist. Songs like Rock With You showed a new type of confidence, smooth, controlled, and unmistakably his, while Don't Stop Till You Get Enough revealed an artist comfortably leading the groove rather than chasing it. From there, everything builds towards 1982's Thriller. Thriller wasn't just another album, it was the moment he transformed from a star into a global phenomenon. setting a new benchmark for what a pop record could achieve. And instead of stopping there, Michael kept pushing. Albums like Bad and Dangerous show an artist refining his sound, expanding his reach, and refusing to stand still. Michael Jackson's solo career is best understood through a small run of albums that each mark a clear step forward. Off the Wall in 1979 is where Michael fully arrives as a solo artist, confident, expressive, and finally in control of his sound. It's the album where his personality and his musical instincts fully lock into place. That momentum carries directly into Thriller in 1982. Thriller became a cultural event on a scale albums have ever reached, dominating radio, television, and record sales around the world. Its unprecedented success, both commercially and critically, cemented Michael Jackson as the pop artist of his era and expanded his cultural reach farther and rarely a pop album has ever. Instead of repeating that success, Michael kept pushing further. Bad in 1987 expands his sound and image, pairing sharp pop instincts with a harder edge on tracks like Bad and The Way You Make Me Feel. By the time of Dangerous in 1991, Michael was adapting to an ever-changing musical landscape. He incorporated new rhythms and textures while maintaining his identity, especially on songs like Black or White and Remember the Time. Taken together, these albums show an artist who wasn't interested in staying stagnant. Each one builds on the last, raising the bar along the way. Michael Jackson's live performances weren't just concerts, they were moments that reset expectations. In 1983, during Motown 25, Michael stepped onto the stage alone and performed Billie Jean. Midway through the song, he would introduce a move that would instantly become part of pop culture history, the moonwalk. In that single moment, everything shifted. It wasn't just the move itself, it was the confidence, the control, and the clarity of who he was presenting himself to be. The moonwalk didn't feel like a gimmick. It felt like a declaration. The sense of that scale became undeniable in 1988 when Michael performed multiple sold-out shows at Wembley Stadium. By that point, he wasn't just a pop star, he was a global event. A decade after Motown 25, his appearance at the Super Bowl 27 halftime show changed expectations once again, turning halftime into the main event. At the beginning, Michael stood still for nearly a minute, turning silence and anticipation into one of the most unforgettable statements in television history. Across tours and television performances, Michael treated the stage with the same precision as the studio. His live presence didn't just support his music, it amplified it. Michael Jackson's legacy isn't just measured in sales, awards, or headlines. It's measured in how deeply his influence still runs. Nearly every modern pop artist owes something to the standard he set. Whether it's how albums are rolled out, how visuals support the music, or how performance is treated as a complete experience rather than just an afterthought. His biggest contribution to pop music was proving that it could be global without being generic. The polish of his music and performances never came at the expense of his emotion, and his ambition never lost its mass appeal. And even decades later, his music still feels present. Not frozen in time, but woven into the way that pop music is made, performed, and understood today. Michael Jackson didn't just define an era, he translated the language of modern pop itself. Well, my friends, that is Michael Jackson for beginners. In our next episode, we're taking a hard turn away from pop perfection and into something louder, heavier, and just as influential. Because next up, we're diving into Metallica and how they took metal from the underground to the mainstream. Thanks for coming along on this journey with me. We'll see you next time.